Could this be the very last chance to acquire Bitcoin on time to become a millionaire still this year? At least many analysts and famous people talking about it right now, that Bitcoin could explode any moment. And the reason why I make this video right now is, first of all, we have Michael Saylor coming out again. If you are not buying Bitcoin at all-time highs, you are leaving money on the table, he says. And I know that you all think this is crazy, because if you bought the all-time high at 112,000, you would already be down again. So you are now at, what is the price currently? $108,400. So it is really the case that we need to think, is it great to buy at an all-time high? And statistically, it's proven actually that the all-time high is not a bad time to buy any asset often. Not always, right? Statistic is always something that calculates averages. And there are peaks like in 2017 when you really bought the top in December. It could definitely be that you had to wait for a very, very long time to get in the plus zone again. However, we have this asset, it's called Bitcoin, and it is so powerful and it's so hard to predict when is a good timing. So what Michael Saylor does, he always buys, he buys the top all the time, and there is a new top that he benefits from. He's always rewarded with the price going even higher, and he has a very strong bias towards that, obviously. But his tip is always to buy at the all-time high. Better buying today, actually, because we already have seen a nice juicy dip. Let's see how much it is, like 3% down from the highs right now. And then there was a second post, and I want to show that to you as well. Because that was Adam Back. I think many of you might have heard about Adam Back as well. If you didn't, then he is a cryptographer and a very famous pioneer in the Bitcoin space as well. He has been in Bitcoin very, very early, and he is known to be somebody that actually isn't that bullish or moon boyish. He was always extremely conservative. He didn't speak much about prices at all. But now he came out and he really made a price prediction that kept many people looking and melting faces, right? Because it's like he is really saying that. Look at that.
And $100,000 is way too cheap. I expect we'll end the year much higher, and we get between 500,000 and a minimum and a million during this cycle. So we'll see if that transpires. $100,000 is
so he says that $100,000 is way too cheap, and Bitcoin should be definitely at 500,000 or even a million this cycle. So he doesn't speak about 2025. He doesn't say when this cycle is over, but he says that this cycle Bitcoin will go to very, very high new price levels of above 500,000. But let's have a look at the chart and check if this can be anyhow true, if this can really happen. So I have opened for you already the most important Bitcoin chart that is existing. It's the chart Bitcoin against US dollar Tether on Binance. And that's the most traded with the highest volume of all Bitcoin pairs. As far as I know, comment below if you think there is a more important Bitcoin pair than this one. But so we are sitting here at 108,000. And that, I know a few days ago, 2 days ago, actually, this was the highest level it ever has been. And now we have seen almost the 112,000 here on Binance, which is sick. And we still see that people already think, oh, it's over. Like, people are scared. They don't know if they should buy this dip. And obviously what I do here, nothing is financial advice. You need to decide yourself whether you want to buy this dip or this is a dip enough for you to buy. But let's look at the bigger picture. So we have seen a very, very strong upwards movement, and this here is an hourly chart. Obviously, do not look too much on the hourly chart. I have talked about this in earlier videos. If you want to really understand markets, the hourly chart is not really anything that should be interesting for you as a long-term investor. except you do day trading, you do trading just for a few hours. That is your chart. But if you are the one that wants to invest in Bitcoin, you should focus on the longer time frames. And the hourly chart is something where we see first when the trend changes. So trends are always moving from the lower time frames to the higher time frames. When we see the dip here first on the hourly, on the daily chart, we won't even recognize it much because it's still just one day that the candle goes down. Okay, we see it here, but if we go even further out and we look at the week, it's still super, super green. And this is something very important for you to understand, that trends occur in the small time frames and they manifest in bigger time frames. So this dip that we just see on the daily, and the daily chart also for you as a long-term investor, the daily chart isn't anything you should focus a lot on. You should just check it to see the trend. So the trend today, one day, is not good. It's downwards, right? But that's normal. I mean, we have 3 days up, 1 day down. That is nothing special. And we see this golden cross, as many talked about, on the daily that we saw recently. And this golden cross doesn't mean a lot either. You know, it's on the daily chart. It's just that the 50-day average is now above the 200 daily average again. It only means that the newest 50 levels of prices on the daily, the last 50 days in average, have been higher than the last 200 days. You see in strong upwards movements, this is what is happening, and it continues to happen all the time. It's nothing special, but we need to look on the weekly, and this is where it really gets exciting. You already see this blue line here on the top, and you see this is the very, very strong trend that has started here. We have never left it again. And one very interesting part is that the 50 weekly, and the weekly 50 is much more important because 50 weeks is a whole year. We're talking about the last year on average. This is the price. So we touched it briefly, and then the price decided that we need to go up again. So from here, we really saw that the average of the last year is staying below us. We're staying above that, and this is a very, very strong bull market indicator. And whenever we're above this 200 weekly, it's extremely strong. So look at that here as well. We knew in the summer of 2021 that the bull market was not completely over, that we still will have this small, I mean, it was very short, but small bull market that got us even a bit higher than before because we stayed above this. And as soon as we went below the 50-week moving average, we knew that it is not a good time to buy right now, because usually it's sticking below. It has a very hard time, and we will see that it goes to these lows again. So we need to find support somewhere, and we did it here. And you see here, we moved above this and we stayed above it. And also in the 2017 one bull market that we had before, we will have the same picture. It's not visible because Binance launched here, so it's not as old. But I will show you another chart in a moment. And in the end of this video, I will show you a great indicator that shows us that the top is actually pretty far away, and Adam Back could be right. So look at that. We have this blue line here up here, and that's the top that I connected from the last two bull markets. So I connected the two tops, and I said, if this is the most accelerated situation of the bull market, then the goal should be around 300,000. And I mean, this sounds very moon boyish now, but actually it's just 200% from here. As you know, it's less than that when you measure, and I mean, you can do the math, 108,000 and you calculate to 300,000, right? It's 175%, probably something like that. So this trend has hardly ever been as strong. If we look at the monthly, we see that we have a super strong upward trend the whole year of 2023 and 2024. and it's still going. Heikin Ashi is proving it. Heikin Ashi is an amazing charting technique or trading measurement of the candles, which gives you a much bigger picture approach than the average, the usual candle, because it starts on the average of the candle before, and we see how the trend progresses. We see there are 3 tough months which haven't been really sell-off months like here. They have only been these short red candles, and that means it's a consolidation time. It's consolidation time. Here it was even deeper sell-off, but generally, this is the strongest, most sophisticated, most advanced situation we ever saw in Bitcoin. This is the longest lasting upwards trend. And many people still think that this bull market is much harder than the ones before. And I get that, because it really had several times where it corrected and consolidated massively. We usually didn't see that. Let's look at the historic one, because I think this is the even more interesting one. It's even longer. And you see the 2017, 16, 17 bull market. It started in October 15, actually. On Heikin Ashi, you see the first green candle was October 15. So the whole 2016, except August, was green. Like, who would ever have been scared because Bitcoin just went up? Also here, look at that. Until the January of 18, which was the turning point here, but until December, where the top was, this was the easiest time ever to hold Bitcoin. You got richer every day. Same here. The last bull market was much more accelerated, much faster and higher. But this made it overheat, and we saw this correction here. And this time, we went pretty slow. We went strong correction, strong correction, strong correction. It wasn't the smooth rise as here, but it wasn't this aggressive rise as we saw in 21 as well. This is why I think it can really be a more right translated cycle. It can go the top, it can build the top on the very end of the cycle. And this could be October, November this year. Like, if we look at that, the last 2 times, 518 days from the halving is this measured to the top. Here as well, from the halving to the top, 549 days. And I have put in here another measurement that brings us to this. Maybe it's a bit earlier, right? Because we see that here it was faster, here it was took a bit longer. And this is the timing question, right? I would predict that in the late months of this year, end of the year, early autumn probably, is when we will really top. We will have a great Bitcoin summer. I'm really hoping that. I mean, nobody can be sure. Nobody knows the future. But what I think is that we can definitely go to 250,000 per Bitcoin. I have to be honest with you, I will probably start to take off small amounts from the table a bit earlier, but I will make a video then and tell you honestly when I do it. So just so you know, subscribe to my channel, and I really will tell you when I start to sell, to finally, after 2017 and 21, always hodling, I really want to take this down swing and or escape from this big correction and really get back into on the bottom. Let's see if this works out, because maybe Bitcoin gets this digital reserve asset of the world and it will never go down again, and Adam Back is right. But let's last but not least look at this indicator that was created in 2020, and it's called the Pi Cycle Top. And it compares the Bitcoin price to or it doesn't compare the Bitcoin price, but the Bitcoin price is on the chart, and it compares 2 values. The 111 days moving average, which is a very odd number, but apparently this has matched the tops the greatest, and this is how it was created in 2020 for these 2 tops here. And it very, very well matched the 21 top then. So this has never been wrong so far. It has matched here it has matched the top here. Even the smaller one here was matched. And again here, obviously it was created in 2020, which is why it could not be wrong there, because it was already created when these tops existed. But it matched the first top of 2021. So if you sold here and you didn't FOMO back in at this point, you would be a very, very happy man or woman, because you could have bought back down here. And the second line, the green line, is the 350 days moving average times 2. So it takes the whole year. This is 3.5 months or something, right? 111 days. And this is more or less almost the whole year. And then it multiplies it with 2, because we anticipate that it goes up. And this is like the upper, very upper bound of this graphic. So we see that the price will be extremely high if we ever reach this level of the 2 times accelerated price, because it's 2 times as high as the average of the last year. And that would indicate a very strong bull market. And it actually happened here, right? It increased so fast in 17 and also in 21 that we know we went above this line because of the fast growth Bitcoin saw. On the other hand, the red line went even higher, because the newest values of the last 111 days, they got so high that they could even exceed the doubled price of the whole year, the average price of the whole year, right? So this is where the top is. And the creator of this, I can't remember the name right now, but the creator of this, he has come up with this. And whenever these 2 lines cross is the pi cycle top. And we are so far away from it. So Adam Back could really be right, because it needs a lot of growth here to get all the way up and make these 2 lines cross. And this being said, I love that you looked at my video again, that you watched Simple Crypto. I hope you have a wonderful day, and YouTube thinks you might like this video or this video here. So check it out. All the best, your Ardex.